Hello and welcome to this audio edition of the Player Spotlight. I'm Tyler Rowland, and I have the honor today of having on a distinguished guest who is one of the all-time great coaches in the state of Kentucky, and I believe that's any sport, not just women's basketball. But I'm excited to have on a coach that has won over 500 games in his career, has had several regional titles, including a trip to the Final Four, and coached 2019 Kentucky Miss Basketball, Savannah Wheeler. And it's good to have you on, Pete Fraley. And first off, starting out, after 28 years at the helm, I know you decided to retire this year. And what was running through your head, just in the emotions you were feeling making this decision?
Well, Tyler, first off, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you and everything you do to spotlight our athletes in the 16th region and around the eastern part of the state. We really appreciate what you do there. But
thank you.
Back to your question there. It was kind of, I knew early on that this was going to be my last year. I thought about it. It was time at the right time. So, my main focus, going into the last portion of the season is just trying to win a region and get our team prepared as well as we can possibly do. To make a run in the regional tournament and hopefully get to the state tournament.
This final season for you, what was it like? Because this was one of your. This is a special group that's going to be talked about for a long time, and talk a little bit about that and just what was running through you and just your thoughts on, Taylor, Audrey, Jackman, and some of them that played for you this year.
Okay. I've coached a lot of these kids for the last 5-6 years, and this year we felt like we had a special group that could make a run. When we had everybody healthy and we went to Owensboro for the 2A, I thought we were playing some of our best basketball then, and it showed as we won the 2A state championship there, and it looked like everything was just rolling right along, and then we come back and Taylor tears her ACL in the very next game, and devastating for her. She's a wonderful basketball player, but she's even better volleyball player. We know that she's going to Marshall to play, and anytime you have an injury like that, it worries you. Will she ever get back to where she was? And of course, Drew Taylor passing. She's ahead of schedule, running already. So it's good to see her back out getting active again. But we just had to keep making adjustments. Seemed like every time that we got ready to put something new in and get ready for Ashland and Russell, we would have a sickness, an illness, an injury, or something that would happen, and it just we just kept pushing it back further and further, and then we get the news last week of the season that we're not going to have Bella Odell, starting guard, and her and Taylor were my two primary point guards, and so we were without them, and then we move Audrey out from her natural position now out to play point, which kind of affected her. She willingly done it, but obviously her numbers suffered greatly. Her main focus went from maybe scoring and rebounding to let's get the ball from the floor and get us into some kind of an offense. But like I said, we kept overcoming, and we felt like we had made adjustments and we were ready. And then first round game of the region, Jada Ray, another starting guard, she goes down with a broken wrist. And so at that point, we had two of our starters that were starters during our state tournament run. All we had left, and the three kids that we filled in for did an admirable job. Bailey Stevens, Kid Moore, and Sophie Stevens. They stepped up and done a great job for us. And, yeah, we put a lot on the shoulders of Jasmine, Jordan, and Audrey there late. They went from primary scores to, hey, let's get the ball on the floor and get into some kind of an offense. And of course, Jazz, she was a walking double every night. But we kind of played people out of position, and I felt like we beat Morgan, we beat Fleming, and then Russell's a tall pass to Shaylin and Bella. We had a plan for them. We just had a little lapse there in the second quarter where they got out on a 15-2 run, and we just didn't ever recover from that. But so proud of my team, and the girls for overcoming injury and illness all throughout the year. And I thought they fought hard in that region championship game. It just wasn't enough.
You guys put together a great effort, down 3 players, and still came out there fighting and had a very impressive run. And I know that you're going to continue being the athletic director, which is good to decide that you'll still be around and talk about what that was like for you balancing. Just I couldn't imagine. I could see the smaller school, but at a place like Boyd County, having to balance both being the athletic director and the women's basketball coach, just given the high expectations. How were you able to juggle that?
Well, first and foremost, I have good people around me. Dexter helps me out tremendously. Delmer back, and our coaches, they pick up the slack a lot of times. I have really good assistant coaches that can take care of the team or took care of the team. During the fall, when we're getting ready for our season, and during the winter, it's boys and girls basketball, wrestling, and swim. Clayton McClellan does a great job with wrestling, and he pretty much took over all that throughout the year. And Fleming being off campus, it made it easier there with Billy Cox and Jordan Dixon. But I have to thank my admin team. Ben Fritz, Jason Davis, Jacob D, Courtney Bartley, Allison May. Those people helped fill in and supervise games for me if we were playing on the same nights. I've got a wonderful superintendent who's very understanding, and any time I need him to fill in, he's a phone call away. And it's really a total team effort. With everybody helping out and pitching in. Coach A, he takes care of things. Whenever I couldn't be there, and it's just the only way you can do it is if you have really good people around you. And my assistant coaches, Dan Rousey, then Logan, my daughter, JW, Tommy Stewart, my head athletic trainer, Tabby Selvage, and her assistant, Lauren DeLuca. I mean, it's just once again a total team effort. I get a lot of credit and stuff for things we do, but it's the people around me who deserve that credit. And I'm more than glad to shine the spotlight on them because they're the ones who do the things that people don't see from them.
Yes, and a lot of good people there. Yeah, I think of Coach A and some of them, just how valuable they've been to the program at Boyd County. And Pete, you played in the 1980s. Of course, what a run Boyd County had. Just think of some of the players that come through. I remember talking about it a lot in high school with Brock Walter, who was my science teacher. I had him 7th period and sophomore year at Ashland, and he would often share some stories from those teams, and talk a little bit about what's something that just comes to mind, a memory that you found from your playing career in Boyd County.
Well, probably the first thing that comes to mind is the coaches that I had. I was fortunate to play for Coach Roger Zorn, who I feel like is the best boys coach ever in the 16th region. He put together such a staff, and once again, it was a family atmosphere. You had Coach one of the best assistant coaches I've ever been around. Coach Bill Pratt, maybe the best defensive coach I've ever seen. I tried to take things from all of them and put it, into what I like to do. And none of the things that we've done, I always tell people, I stole ideas from everybody here and there, and tried to put my own little spin on it. But my coaches were some of the most influential people that I can think of. And Coach Zorn, Coach Pratt, Coach Sparks, and later on, I was able to coach with Coach Walter, Coach Brock Walter, and Bill Bradley, and Kevin Sisler, and I felt like we were as good a staff, from high school down to middle school as there was, and I think that helped in our success throughout the 80s and 90s that Coach Zorn had. And, I always said he was the straw that stirred the drink. He sheltered us and let us go out and coach. He took care of a lot of things that the coaches today have to deal with. But I had great teammates too when I played. Brad Taylor was one of the best athletes that I ever had on my team, and we knew if we needed a bucket, we could go to Brad. Jimmy Moore, he was a tremendous defender and just a great team guy. Dr. Brian Matthews, he was a wonderful inside presence for us. John Todd, Rex Trimble, one of my great friends, Billy Nip, played on that team, and we were just a really, really close knit team, and we spent a lot of time together, a lot of time in the gym, and back then, that was the start of the kind of the start of the heyday. I know, Chief Clark won the region in 81 and 82 at boys, and Coach George started, in 83, and we got beaten in the semis, but in 84, he got his first region title, and he went on to win 7 total titles there, and I think of Boyd County, and the first thing that comes to mind is family. I mean, we're family, and we got each other's backs, and we care about kids. Special times, and I graduated in '84, then I come back, and I've been employed there for 28 years. Never applied or looked anywhere else. At home, that's where I wanted to be, and happy to consider myself a Boyd County Lion.
Yeah, you mentioned some great names in this group. I think one that stood out, I think of Phil Pratt. You think of all he did for Boyd, for the 16th region, both as a player and coach. And actually, because he went on to play for Stetson and was a part of their best team ever in 1975, 22-4, and they just hit 22 wins this year for the first time since then. And also you mentioned Roger Zorn. You mentioned how it's certainly not an unreasonable argument at all to think he could be the best 16th region men's basketball coach in history. What was it about Roger Zorn that you remember that really set him apart from the pack?
Well, I mean, Coach was demanding. He demanded your best each and every day. We didn't always love him when we played for him, but we respected him. And now looking back on it, we all love him. He's actually coming into town next week. We're going to get together and have dinner, and a group of us, and he just it was kind of a learning curve for us and him. We were his first team that he was the head coach of, and just really special with Coach Pratt. My freshman year in high school, he came back here from Knott County Central and was my freshman coach. And obviously, I had Coach Bobby Sparks in middle school, so I just feel blessed to have been coached by those great men and great basketball minds. And I couldn't tell you how many times throughout my 28-year career coaching girls that I went to each one of those guys for advice, or Coach Zorn, before he moved to Florida, he would stop in practice, once or twice a week and just, provide insight, tips, pointers, and, he would say, let us pick his brain. And, just really appreciate those people and, can't say enough good things about them.
Yes, let's talk about some more of your players that came through. You think of, just such a long list of greats that came through. We just had Savannah Wheeler on the podcast this week, and of course, you talk about, just recently, Harley Keener, who's started games at Tennessee Tech. Laney Whitmore got to experience the NCAA Division II tournament, Bailey Rucker, and these are just recent players. You go back, you think of like Jennifer Swan, and I thought that was kind of neat because it was both locals leading the way, her and Kristen Daniels, who would be the impetus behind a national championship team at KCU, and just talk about just some of the players you've coached and who comes to mind, and just how neat it feels now to see, just to have seen them. Not just go and maybe have a successful basketball career, and of course many of them I know don't go on to play college, but more importantly just to see them succeeding in life.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm going to apologize first because I'm going to leave somebody out. I hate that. I love every player I've ever coached, and when I first started out, we were not a very good team, and probably one of the first kids I had that went on to play college ball. When there was two, it was Sarah Click, and she went on to Georgetown and played there, and I think now she's a physician's assistant. And in that around that same time, I had Latasha Negretti, who went to Transylvania, and I think she's a nurse now. Those were kind of the starting years, and then, as we went on, Casey Galloway, she comes to mind. I can remember I couldn't teach class because I was getting called every day from all these college coaches asking questions about Casey, and then you mentioned Jennifer Swan, who goes to KCU and wins the national championship. That's special. She's back. Her daughter is coming up now, Zoe, and she's going to be a dandy player for Coach Groves in the next couple of years. And you look at that, just going back, probably, being able to coach, my two daughters, Lauren, she played for me until she was a sophomore and then just decided, I'm probably not, basketball's not for me, and, but I enjoyed coaching her, and then obviously coaching Logan. That was very special. A special relationship that we had there on the floor, and she goes on to Marshall, and then I was fortunate enough here in the last few years to have her back home on my staff, and she just does a tremendous job of individual instruction and helping develop those players. But you talk about recent, this year when Peyton and Charity, they moved in here from up in West Virginia. They were tremendous players. Went on to West Virginia State, and then Charity actually started at LaSalle for a year. The Laney Whitmores, Harley Keener. You couldn't have this conversation without Savannah Wheeler. She wasn't the first Wheeler I coached either. Taylor Wheeler was a tremendous player. She actually was our all-time leading scorer. Logan actually broke her record, and then Savannah broke Logan's record. So, you got those kids, but, to see Savannah go on, and, it's just pretty neat the day that, that I told the team I wasn't going back. We sat at Smoking Jay's for our basketball banquet and watched Savannah, play against LSU, and that's just special to see that, to see her love for the game and so forth. Just couldn't be more proud of the kids that I've coached. I'm sure there's some that probably don't like me as much as others, but I love each and every one of the kids I coached, and I tried my best to treat them like they were my own kids, and to take care of them the best I could. And that's where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So just thankful to have great players and great coaches and great administration to support our program and the girls program throughout the 16th region. And heard it before, but Hot Brown just elevated the 16th region for girls basketball with the teams he had at West Corner. Forever grateful to him. And, the people that I was able to coach against, the Hager Easterlings, the Bill Bradleys, the Sandy Lane. The list goes on and on of great coaches. But we have some of the best coaches in the state here in the 16th region for girls basketball.
Yes, well said. And talk about when it comes to some of the players. One thing that always stood out to me, Pete, was how you really seem to know how to draw attention to them, because until recently, and just some of the things you have now, of course you got My Town TV, you have social media, live streaming. You've been able to get them looked at by a lot of different schools. What was your strategy in particular when it came to when you knew you had a player that if a coach had the opportunity to see them, that you knew they could be, and they'd be a real star at the next level? What was your strategy for marketing that?
Well, first and foremost, we wanted to play a tough schedule each and every year to prepare our teams for tournament play. And in that, we played a style of basketball that kids like to play. They like to score points. They like to get up and down the floor. We like to mix up and play pressure defense. The one thing that I encouraged all my kids to do is find a good AAU team and go play in front of coaches throughout the summer. Personally, myself, I'm not a huge fan of high school basketball in the summer. I don't feel like we're ready. In June, it's a lot to ask kids, once the season ends, to shut down and then to pick back up and ramp back up and get prepared to go play. I was always fearful of injury. I encouraged my kids that wanted to play at the next level to find, a high level AAU team to where they could get exposure and, build a relationship with those AAU coaches who obviously have, relationships with, the other coaches, and, just that work there. Social media has been instrumental in getting things out, information out about certain kids and, so forth. And, we jumped into an agreement when it wasn't real, cool, with My Town TV, to stream our games. And, I felt like that opened up, colleges with, they didn't have to get on a plane and fly, or drive to where we were playing. I could say, hey, just get on My Town TV. You can watch the game. And, we've got Huddle now where I can send game film. But, it's, kids like the way we played. And, that I thought that was attractive to a lot of colleges. And, we just tried our best to promote our kids the best that we could. And, not everybody wanted to go on and play college basketball. Others just decided not to, or went on to school and started their careers and things like that. That's perfectly fine. It's college basketball and college sports in general is not for everybody. It's difficult. I try to tell them, at Boyd we were trying to prepare them for what it was going to be like a little bit in college. And, hopefully we did that with Audrey and Jazz this year to get them ready, to play at the next level. I tell them all the time, it's like a job now. With at least 20 hours a week of practice, and then you throw in your study halls of weights and different things. It's very demanding, and it's not for everybody. But hopefully we teach them more than just basketball. We teach them life skills so that they can go out and be productive citizens, in society, and teach them to stand up for themselves, and things like that are the traits that I used to try to instill in our players.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and as a coach, what do you want your legacy to be?
Dollar, more than anything, I want to get invited to weddings, baby showers, and things like that, and just have a relationship with my players. That, they feel that they can call me anytime for anything, and hopefully be able to help them. And, the wins, those belong to the players. Without players, we wouldn't have had as many wins as we did. And I give them credit. I was just fortunate enough to be the one that was, the captain of the ship. And but hopefully I built relationships with the kids as they become adults. I've been able to see some of my players' kids and coach some of my players' kids this past year, and that was really neat because you get those things, questions. What was it like coaching my mom? That kind of plays a part. It's kind of neat to reminisce back when when I was coaching those kids. As far as the legacy, I hope people know that I always tried my very best to do what was right for kids, and put them first and foremost. And that would be my legacy as far as I'm concerned.
Before we wrap up, these are questions to get to know you a little bit better. First off, who do you root for in the NBA?
In the NBA, probably the Boston Celtics. I've always been a Celtic fan, Larry Bird fan. Of course, I keep up with all the UK guys, whoever they're playing for. I really enjoy watching the Nuggets play right now with Jamal Murray, and if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the Celtics.
Nice, yeah, a lot of tradition with the Celtics. And what type of what's your favorite hobby like that you have? Do you have like a particular? I know you don't get much time off the court, but when you do, what is a hobby you do?
Well, my son-in-law Jesse Wallace, who's also on our boys' staff, and our former principal Tom Holbrook, they got me into turkey hunting during COVID, and it's kind of addicting. And I really enjoy getting out in the woods and just sitting. Some days you can sit for hours and you don't see or hear anything. I really enjoy turkey hunting. I enjoy bird hunting in general, and love to fish. Golf whenever I can. I'm not real good. I would probably be better if I put a little more time into it. But those are my hobbies. I love watching the Cincinnati Reds. Grew up a baseball fan. Probably was a bigger baseball fan than I was basketball, but love the Reds. Love Pete Rose. Love watching the Reds now.
And what's a cool fact about yourself? Something maybe not a lot of people know.
Well, my name's really not Pete. It's James William Fraley Jr., named after my dad. And I come home one day in elementary school and said, "Hey, I want to be called Pete because I was a huge Pete Rose fan." And Mom and Dad just looked at each other and said, "Okay, he's Pete now." And, so that's probably a fact that not everybody knows.
Wow, that is really cool. And last question, and you know what? Normally I say any shout outs here. What would you like to say? And you certainly can get shout outs, but what would you like to say to the Boyd County community?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank my wife. She's very understanding. Sunny, she spends a lot of nights at home, when I'm on the road. It got better, as far as I wouldn't have to be out scouting as much, but she always stood behind me and helped me out, through my 28 years of coaching and keeping the family together. And I guess for shout outs, the administration that has stood behind me at Boyd County, and I appreciate all of them and all the support they've given. Not only to me as a girls basketball coach, but to athletics in general. Very athletic-minded people, and I've worked for some great people, and continue to work for them today. And it was just a pleasure to be part of Boyd County.
Nicely said. And well, Pete, we want to say thank you for coming on. Appreciate you being on the show, and glad we're still going to have you around as athletic director, and definitely definitely be good to see you there still in the red. And we want to say thank you all for tuning in and watching. Be sure to stay tuned. We're going to have quite a few podcasts coming up, and of course we'll definitely have some from Boyd County. And I want to say thank you for tuning in and watching. God bless you, and we will see you soon.